2011 LG 시네마 3D GSL 메인. 이제 절반의 승부를 끝내고 9번째 16강 진출자를 가린다. 글로벌한 인기, 글로벌한 전략, GSL 메이의 글로벌 스타들이 모두 모였다. 승부를 알 수 없는 최강의 조 2조. 2011 GSL 마치의 우승자만큼이나 이 선수의 임팩트는 막강했다. 이변의 사나이, 그리고 이제는 그 누구도 만만하게 볼 수 없는 신의 사나이. 2011 GSL 마치 4강, 2011 월드 챔피언십 4강, 최근 10세트 성적 6승 4패, NS 호서산 강초원, 그리고 그가 지목한 글로벌 스타, 외국 선수의 자존심을 지키고 있는 리퀴드의 보석. 최근 10세트 성적 3승 7패, 2010 GSL 오픈 시즌 3 4강, 2011 GSL 제뉴얼이 4강, 그리고 2011 GSL 마치 16강에 빛나는 리퀴드 진로 조나탄 웰스. 산과 진로 두 스타가 만나게 될 전장은 바로 종착역. 상대 종족 전승률 대테란전 강초원 66.7%, 대프로토스전 조나단 37.5%. 장기전에 능한 두 선수의 만남, 그들은 과연 어떤 운영과 전략을 준비해 왔을 것인지. 강초원 대 조나단, 조나단 대 강초원. 범상치 않은 두 선수 중 승리의 스타트를 끊게 될 선수는 과연 누가 될 것인지. 오늘의 첫 경기 종착역으로 출발한다.
NS 호서산 vs Liquid Jinro.
Well, that right there, that Mission Impossible music kind of describes this great group we have here as the Red Protoss. It is... I'm not Tasteless.
He is. Wait for it. We gotta wait for the Korean cast to link up. We're off to a bumpy start right now.
Before people forgot the Mission Impossible music was playing, Tasteless, I wanted to let them know that this group is ridiculous.
It is. This group is actually, I think, the hardest group to predict the outcome from. So I'm really excited to see what the results are going to be. Naratosis, would you like to try to introduce this guy?
No.
Over here at the south, our Swedish Terran player, nicknamed the sophisticated Gorilla Terran.
Liquid Chillo.
What is General like cloaked like a banshee? I guess it's not going to be in that one.
Well, this is going to be a super difficult group, Tasteless. This is about the hardest group that you could ever make up for Jinro. Hey, look, it's a Swedish fan. It says something in Swedish about hello to Jinro.
I don't know any Swedish, unfortunately. Actually, no, kom igen nu.
Welcome. Welcome.
I could just start speaking Klingon. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know the difference. Lovely country, Sweden. Wish I could go there someday.
One day.
We actually get a lot of Swedish fans here in the studio.
Yeah.
Surprisingly large number of Swedish fans, considering that, you know, the distance between here and Sweden.
That's quite true. It's quite a long ways.
And actually, a lot of our viewers are from Sweden.
Well, Sweden always has been one of the greatest countries for esports.
Yeah, you know, they have a big Counter-Strike scene out there, and of course, a lot of very talented StarCraft players. You know, we got people like Jinro, but that's just a start. Even old school players like Nazgul, who founded the site TeamLiquid.net.
Well, he's from Netherlands, but...
Oh my god, he's not Swedish? Uh-oh.
Maro's from Sweden, though. That's
Where's
okay.
my time machine? I'm so sorry.
We're going to pretend you didn't say that. We'll just plausible deniability. All right, so
go on.
It is San against Jinro. San is like unbelievably good at PvT. You know, his only real weakness is Protoss versus Protoss. And Jinro, his weakest matchup is against Protoss. So this is like a super hard match for him to start out on. But Jinro going to go for a super fast command center. One of the quickest you can get in the whole game. Meanwhile, San is getting a second gas, as we see here. What will he go for? He's about to scout and just see Marines. He's not going to be able to truly tell whether or not there's an expansion.
Well, so far, it looks like San is doing a pretty standard opener here. Getting that first zealot out, then going in and making a stalker. And when the stalker's out, that means they can't get anything inside your base to check and see what you're doing, so then you're basically allowed to tech.
Oh, little half hit from that zealot.
I know.
It's a half-hearted attack.
The stalker will take care of this.
All right, so He has taken some probes off of gas over there. Jinro, in the meantime, building a bunch of barracks. Wants to get a ton of Marines out to be able to stop any sort of rushes that occur. I think that what we're going to see here, Tasteless, is just very light pressure from San while expanding.
Yeah, and that might be the best build on this map. That's sort of general.
Yeah.
Because it's a big open map. It's hard to engage your opponent right away. As you can see, San, he might actually try to go up the ramp with the stalker. And he doesn't. Good call, too, because SCVs are coming down. He could have been blocked.
Yeah, that would have been a sad story.
There is something you can do when you do a build like this, if you think you can get up the ramp, is just run the stalker up there and scout around. And even though you're going to lose that stalker, you see what they're doing.
Yeah. Now, normally off of a gasless expansion, there will be a timing attack from Terran, or at least a timing pressure with only Marines. You know, they normally make a ton of Marines and then give some sort of pressure to you to make sure you're not getting overly greedy as Protoss, you know, expanding, upgrading, and teching or something like that. So San is probably going to want to get a few warp gates up right away. In fact, on the production tab, we do see, just as I say that, he throws up 2 more warp gates. That's exactly how many you need. You know, 3 warp gate, constant units. You'll be able to hold off any Marine times. And in fact, throws up a 4th gateway, so he may even get a little bit aggressive. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, you know, a build like this can work now that we've changed this map slightly, put destructible rocks at the location where the 3rd base is taken, the 2nd expansion. And that makes this build much more viable because Terran suddenly have a much larger area they have to defend from.
It's quite true.
Now, when you do a build like this as Protoss, there's a lot of different ways you can take it. And as you can see, what he's doing with the Stalker, in case you're wondering, is he's checking to see how many Marines are there.
Yeah. He's waiting for Marauder shells. He's seeing if there's extra bunkers and all that jazz. He already has a proxy pylon. May start attacking the rocks relatively soon as those warp gates do finish. San picking up pro production once again as well, though. So it does not look like he's going to do any sort of all-in. Maybe some sort of faster MC style. He is getting a few sentries out front. But as he counts more and more bunkers with that stalker, such great scouting, by the way, with the stalker.
Is he stockpiling chrono boost or anything? Do you mind checking?
I will check.
He just
nope. He's just chrono boosting out a lot of probes.
I don't even know if he's actually going to attack. He might just destroy the rocks, and that leaves an opening.
Yeah,
and just sort of apply pressure that way.
Certainly, and just having a bunch of force fielders out there. Not even going to call them sentries. Those are force fielders. That's what they do. He can cut some armies in half, maybe do a little bit of damage, scare his opponent.
See those barrels right there at the right? I said this yesterday. Straight out of Area 51, the video game. Did you ever play that? It was in the arcade.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, you shoot the aliens, they go.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like
the one that's in every movie theater in America. Yeah.
Yes,
it's like next to House of the Dead. I'm like, but aren't these the same game?
Well, House of the Dead is better, but Area 51's pretty old.
They're all pretty old, to be honest.
They're pretty old.
Awesome when they came out, but back then I didn't have any money to play.
That was back when the aliens would come down on ropes from the ceiling and like fire guns at you. I'm like, what? I'm like,
oh my god, 3 starports being made for Jinro.
Oh, this is very interesting.
Oh, this is super duper cool.
Is he going to amass Banshee?
I believe so, Tasteless. That's actually such a neat build. The Robo going up now, getting the armor upgrades for Protoss, always good against the barracks units. But this is very, very strange. We've never really seen anything quite like this. But 3-port Banshee right now is pretty sick, and he's got a missile turret in his natural, so it's going to be hard to scout 2 of the ports. But I mean, this is actually so cool because this is just like a random Banshee timing, and mass Banshee is actually pretty hard to deal with. Protoss, the one thing they truly do lack is good anti-air. And when you combo Banshees with Marines, it's like, well, if you don't have Psy Storms, man, Phoenixes are going to be a little bit hard to go. You know, the Sentries obviously are going to help quite a bit, but huge DPS out of those Banshees. So this is like super duper interesting, especially considering the fact that San is going for Gateway and getting his robotics bay, obviously, for Colossus. And with that missile turret, oh man, missile turret placement for Jinro is really good. I don't think he's going to be able to scout that mass Banshee might be on the way.
Here comes an observer.
And down goes one observer.
Can you check, does he actually have vision of all the
no, he does not.
Starports? He does not? Okay.
Absolutely not. He's seen one, and that one's even making a Raven right now, so... Like, this is a really well-planned strategy for Jinro. He's just saying before the game started. In the past few days, he has played, since the 15th of April when he got back here, he has played about 250 games, so he's been practicing pretty hard.
Well,
Definitely wants to get out of this.
Train hard. I mean,
yeah.
I said this in the finals of the World Series, and I was talking with John. But you know, people like to fantasize that people are talented and that's what makes them get to the top. But really, it's just hard work. You got to practice. You got to prepare yourself.
That means the most, Tasteless. And that Stalker's going to get out there. That pylon going to be taken out. And this is really interesting because now San, he's starting his third base. He's starting Colossus production, but he only has 2 observers out. So these observers are going to be so crucial when the Banshees actually come. Oh my God, Tasteless. This is so awesome and cool. The coolity of this. Unbelievable.
The coolity?
Yeah, man. And this one's going to see Banshees. He sees them.
And you can see at the last second, Jinro tried to move them.
Yeah, that was a little bit sloppy by Jinro. Just a little tiny bit. If he had those a little bit more off and you don't see that, it's like, well. But
this is going to force Jinro to attack. You can't just wait any longer. That unit composition is too specific, and that requires such a dramatic change for the Protoss and attack that you really don't want to wait around.
Dude, this is actually going to be so deadly because he is making Colossus. Okay, that's going to be good against Marines, obviously, but he has that Raven out for point defense drone. Now let's talk about the Stalker count of San. San has 7 Stalkers. He has 10 now and 7 sentries.
And that's against how many Banshees?
And 1 observer. Another observer should be on the way, is it? No, he's not making another, but he is making some Stargates. Oh, Jinro takes out the observer.
Does he have an observer there?
The answer is no.
No.
And goodbye everything. San Zenith. NS Hoso-san, rather, gonna get completely owned right now.
Oh, dude, I think that's actually GG.
Yeah, that's actually
it.
He's not gonna have anything left, man. He's just gonna lose his Nexus and the units.
Oh, he's gonna kill the pylon, try to go for the army. No, he's not. He's gonna go for the Nexus. Excuse me. Oh man, this is actually the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And he uses the point defense drone to target down that cannon, and Jinro is going to basically get the easiest win ever out off the perfectly planned strategy. San not ready for it, not making enough observers.
Dude, I am so impressed. That strategy was so sick.
I can't even believe it. That was awesome. Absolutely awesome. And now he finally is running out of energy, but the damage has been done, Tasteless. The Colossi are no more. The Marines, they are stimming and killing everything. Banshees for the win, Tasteless.
That is just so impressive.
That was like such a one-sided own.
I know.
But San is not giving up yet. He does have that 1-1 upgrade, so he's going to be able to take out these Banshees finally. Well, as soon as that cloak runs out, at least. Will he save this Nexus? Looks like he will, very easily. The Banshees are all gone, and now the supplies: 99 for Jinro, 76 for San. Let's take a look. We have 55 SCVs against 31 probes.
You know, I'm wondering if going for the cannon and trying to attack the army was really the best way to go about this. I think he should have shot the Nexus, then gone to the main, killed that Nexus.
You know, I like that he targeted the Colossi at least, because his entire army was Marines. He had to get rid of that. But
once he went for the Stalkers, I was like, well, you know, if you just kill the Nexus, they're not going to have money to make stuff. They're going to spend the rest of their money remaking the Nexus. And meanwhile, you're back at home. You know, your buildings are all hotkeyed. You're making units, giggling.
Well, right now, it looks like Dark Templar Shrine coming out. And the Banshee's still trying to do some harassment damage. Jinro just kind of turtling up, realizing, hey, I'm pretty well ahead here. 117 spy to 84. Got way more SCVs than San has probes. San took so much damage from that, man. So much damage.
Well, it will be very impressive if San manages to recover from something like this. And, oh my god, he's getting a fusion. Why am I saying like the name of this building?
Fusion Core?
Fusion Core.
Where was it?
Oh, I should have trusted
there
my
it is.
instincts.
Yeah, he does have
Fusion
that.
Core.
He's getting
I thought it was
two of
called the Fusion Core, but suddenly
he's getting two Fusion Cores. He's actually getting...
That's a mistake, but...
Yeah. He wants to upgrade both Battle Cruiser upgrades at once? I don't know. But yeah, it looks like he's going to switch over to Battle Cruisers and Battle